Hello student, today we will know about the last part of the electoral politics, where you will know about and also learn about the different methods by which you can check the election process. You are very well known from your knew from your previous topics from this chapter that election process is very much important in any democratic country, but it's also as well as is also very important that if the election process is a very that it is qualified, or you can say it is a qualityful elections where the election process is smoothly run and it is function as a very good process, then we can say that it's that in that particular democratic country that election process is a quality election process. So basically here we have to go through with the 3 points, the or you can say 3 methods by which you can understand that in how much election is needed for a democratic country, and not only a election but a quality types of election, good quality types of election we will that it is very much needed for our democratic country. So let's check that whether our in our country, that is India, which is also known as a democratic country, whether India is or they have a good quality of elections or not. Okay, so let's check that what are the 3 ways to from which you can measure or you can check the quality of the election. The first one is the popular participation, which means where the peoples can participate in a very huge manner. Okay, so you already get to understand that election means where the peoples come and give their vote, express their feelings by giving the vote to choose their representative. So the popular participation means where the peoples have to come together and participate. Next one is the acceptance of the election outcome, where everyone, whether they lose the election or whether they win the election, so everyone was that they're concerned about their outcomes. And last one, you already, this term you already they're very well known with this word, free and fair election, because you know that in your previous chapters you already learned from there that free and fair election is very much important to establish a democratic country. It is a very that important features of a democratic country, and this is also one of the biggest challenge to check whether the quality of the election is good or bad. So we have to check if any particular democratic country there's a free and fair election is going on, so that they will win the challenges, and basically we can say that yes, that country belongs have the good quality of election. So let's discuss one by one these 3 ways. So let's see with the first one is the population participation. So basically the population participation means where that the peoples are came together, or you can say in the election process, whether that election is in a good quality or not, whether whatever the election is going on in particular country, that process is that it is good quality, or it is just randomly it is taken, or it does not have any importance. So to checking this all these kind of things, we need the participation of the people in any election process, where the maximum number of the peoples or maximum number of the citizens of that particular country they participate in the election process. That time we can say that election process is a very quality, maintaining a good quality election process, because election means where the peoples came and cast their vote by choosing their representatives. Okay, so if the maximum amount of peoples, if the maximum citizens of any particular country, irrespective of any gender, without discriminating any people by their money, by their education, by their gender, if everyone come and participate in the election process, that means that country will have a very good quality of election, where everyone get a chance to participate into the election process. So our country is also over there that people's participation in the election of our country is measured by voter turnout figures. Now what is voter turnout figures? Okay, so voter uh, that is that this term is very new to you. You get this term in a first time. Voter turnouts figures. Voter turnouts figures means that the percentage of the eligible voters who actually cast their vote, means how many peoples are actually they casting their vote, actually give their vote. That is known as the voters turnout. That means suppose in your country, if you suppose in one particular country there is 100 people, and among the 100 people, suppose there is a 70 people those who belongs to the eligible criteria, that is those who are above the 18 years of age. So if this all 70 peoples give their vote, that means these 70 peoples are known as turnout figures, voter turnouts figures. Okay, so the percentage, how much percentage the eligible voters are giving their vote, this is known as voter turnout. So in our country, maximum peoples are giving the vote. Okay, maximum peoples are giving their vote, as because in our country there is no rule, no discrimination is going on. Only the criteria is to the people should be above the 18 years of age. Okay, so as you all know that our country India is very poor, illiterate and underprivileged people we have. Okay, in a very large portion, in a very huge amount of people. If you compare your country with the others country, if let me take an example of the US. So you all very well know that in USA, large peoples are very rich in the status. They are very educated peoples are there, but still if you that if you compare the, or if you make the graph of Indian voters and the that USA voters of the different social groups, you can observe that though our country is a poor, illiterate, underprivileged people, but still most of the peoples are giving most of the peoples or the large amount of the voters are belong to the poor family, or belong to the illiterate family, or belong to the underprivileged family. And if you see the graph, you can observe that the rich and privileged sections of our country, they give less vote rather than poor peoples or illiterate peoples, or those who are underprivileged peoples, they are giving vote more. So from this we can understand that in our country there is a no discrimination is going on the basis of gender, caste, religion, or the money. Okay, because maximum large portion are belongs to poor, illiterate and underprivileged people, those who are casting their vote, which is not happen, which is not that what observed in the USA and others countries. Next one is saying that common people in our India, they feel that election is very important, because with the election they can pressurize their government, they can pressurize their political parties, and so that on the fear of the losing the vote, losing the election, the political parties are adopted the good policies and programs which is favorable to the citizens. Let me explain you one thing. Suppose there's one person who became the prime minister, or who became the that the chief minister of your state. Okay, or any political that who become a leader of your colonies. Okay, now if that leader is are very much afraid of losing their position, if that leader is not working in a very good manner, then in the next election we as a colony peoples, we are not giving the vote to them, we are giving our vote to the someone else. So they can that leader can that maybe lose their chair, lose their power. So for that reason, that particular leader are very afraid of that election, because it's keep them upon them the pressure, and they try to take that kind of programs, they try to implement that kind of policies, that kind of schemes which is suitable for their citizens. Okay, so this by this way we can understand that election process is how much important for the Indian citizens, because Indian citizens are very well known that they what they do now, they feel that the election is very much important, because with the election they can pressurize their political parties, and due to this pressure the political parties are implementing good policies and programs which is really very favorable, which is really very advantageous for the citizens. Okay, So due to this, we can say the participation is very much in, that we can observe the participation in the voting system of our country. Last one is saying that sometimes it's also that if you see the our history or the election history of our country, you can observe that in the previous timing, like if I'm saying the before 1970s or before 1980s, the youth, or you can say the that the uh, young generations, okay, they are not very much interested to take participate in the political activities. But right now you can observe in many schools, many many colleges, in many colleges the students are, they that they take part in the political affairs or political activities. In many colleges you can observe that the peoples are going for the rallies. They have something opinion, they have a very strong opinion for any particular political party. So basically the voters, they are very much interested in the voting activities or in the political activities, which is right now are very increased, which is not happen, which is not we can observe in the previous timing. But right now the voters can take part in the activities, election related activities, like to that to survey the peoples, to providing the voter id card to the different peoples, to that to uh, collecting the votes, like different kinds of activities they are doing. Okay, so by these 3 points, let's go to the second slide, or the second method, where you can check whether our election process is a qualified, or it's a good quality election, or it's a bad quality elections. So acceptance of the election outcomes. Now what is acceptance of election outcomes? Acceptance of election outcomes means where whatever the result is, whether the result is in a positive way or whether it's the result in a negative way, that will be accepted by the peoples. That peoples can understand that if we are not doing a good work, we can lose our election. If we are doing a very good policies, giving a good policies to our citizens, doing some good work for our citizens, then we can that win the elections. So basically whatever the result is going come out from the election, that will be accepted by the that the accepted by the election. So one final test of the free and fairness of the election is outcome of election. So basically if any country's leader, after getting the result of the vote, if they are not that accepted whatever the result, and they are doing some unfair things, that means in that country is it is not a good quality types of election process. Okay, and if suppose in any country, suppose there is a two group a and b, and a always win, like whatever you are that learned from the chapter, from the story that is in the story of the Mexico, where you can observe that PRI, okay, the that group PRI always win the election. Why? Because they are doing the dirty works. Whatever the election result will become, they are not accepted, and they are doing some unfair things to win that election. So that is, from there we can understand that that is not a good quality of election, right? So whatever the result is come out, that is the that is the measurement, or that is the method from which we can understand that whether the election is that election is very good quality or it is not a very good quality. So basically the ruling parties, that the ruling parties continually lose the election in our country. It's not like that. Okay, see, the BJP is right now in the chair of the ruling party, but it's not always is like that. The BJP is always winning the election. Sometimes the BJP will lose the election, Congress is lose the election. So basically one particular political party is never win always the election. So it proves that election procedures of our country is in a very good quality, because here the people can decide it on the basis of their work, whether that person or that political party should be in the power or not to be in the power. Okay, so but in USA this does not happen. Okay, so in the USA, an incumbent or sitting elected representative rarely lose, means those who are coming to sit in the representative, they are very rarely loses the election. Almost that people are sticking, or that people are staying in that position. Okay, But in our India, half of the sitting of MLAs and MP lose election. Means suppose one person is right now in the Vidhan Sabha election, they become MLA, and when they wanted to come to the as a MP, they lose the election. So it's not about that all the 5 years that person belongs to that particular MPs and MLA. Within that 5 years, maybe that MP or MLA will be shifted from their position also. Then candidates who are known to have spent a lot of money on buying votes and those with known criminal connection often lose. In our country, it also we can observe that those people, yes, it's of course in the practical way, some people are, that they are buying the votes by giving the money. Some people, those who are criminal in their background, they also win the the battle of the election, but sometimes they lose also. So from this we can understand that the people have their choice that who will become their leaders. Okay, like this way also, as usually whatever the election, that any dispute is arises or not, whatever things is going on, ultimately whatever the result come out in the electoral, the people's or the political leaders, they have accepted this. And if in any country, any political leaders or any government, they accepted the election result and they are doing accordingly to that, then we can say that country becomes the having the good quality of elections. Okay, last one, this is a very challenging in front of our country, and still now we can say that the third method is not fully, that fully getting by our country, or we can say that the last challenge, the last method to having a good quality of election process, that is a challenge to free and fair election, that somehow is not achieved by our country. That in our country, basically this free and fair election, this will be our main motto or main objectives. Okay, but you also very well known that all the election is not doing in a conducted in a free and fair manner. So, okay, some constituencies are there which actually sometimes where we cannot find any free and fair election. Okay, so there are many limitations to conducting free and fair election. Fine, many disadvantages is behind this one. So this is a very biggest challenge in front of the Indian election. Okay, so as because still now our country does not that unable to achieve this kind of election, that is free and fair election, because today also, still today, that many constituencies are there where we can observe or we can hear in the news that that corruption is going on, the election process is that is stopped in particular constituency. Why? Because some members are cheating, they cheated the votes, some members are corrupt, purchasing their votes, some members are forcefully, they are that giving the votes. So many things we can observe, so which is say that up to when, if this kind of challenges or this kind of method is fully not achieved by our country, till that we cannot say that our election process is a good quality election. Okay, so what we have, what we go through with the challenges, what are the challenges we observe in front of us? First one is that the candidates and the parties with a lot of money, they can enjoy. Why? Because they purchases the small parties members, they give the money to the small party members and they purchases or they buying the vote, and this is unfair advantages they are taken for and that win the election. So we cannot say that it's a free and fair election. Next one is talking about the candidates with the criminal connections. We also observe that many criminals are there, many people, those who have a criminal, that criminal background, they become a MPs and MLAs. Okay, they, that they also take part into the electoral race and they get a ticket, they get that they nominated themselves as a candidate into the vote. So it's also not a fair election. Sometimes it's also happened, which I'm giving, always giving an example, like in our country, that that if I'm giving the example of the Congress, that heredity based they are giving their tickets. Okay, so some political parties also there, they are distributed their tickets to their relatives, to their families. Now what is ticket means? Ticket means the the nominations. Okay, So suppose if I have a political party. So like I don't want it to go to the or you can say right now I'm very old to continue with my leadership. So what I will do, I will giving my chair, or giving my power, or giving my position to any of my family members, so that the party's power that should be in our family. So that is known as tickets. That means the nomination power. Okay, so where the peoples get one chance to be nominated and standing as a candidate in the vote. So tickets are distributed to the relatives from their families. Elections offer little choice to the ordinary citizens, as most of the political parties, the choices are very much little to our citizens, because almost all the parties are doing the same policies, taking same kind of things. Means they are promises lots of things, but after win the election, they are doing nothing. So basically we can say that almost most of the political parties are they quite doing the same kind of work after winning the election. So we are not getting that kind of much that option from which we can choose. Last point is talking about the small parties and independent candidates. They suffer a huge amount of, because that if the small parties, they are not getting a chance to come out, as because the big parties are always that compare. Suppose there's a one small parties, and in front of them there's a BJP or TMC, so always we are comparing both the parties. So in that case, if small parties are doing the good work also, but we are not that giving attention on that, we always give our attention, we always that keep our eyes into the bigger parties. So this is also somehow the smaller parties not get encouraged. They are not that getting a strong enough courage to become an independent one. Okay, so these are some of the areas by which we can say that still our Indian that election is not a totally free and fair election. And if our election is not totally free and fair election, so we cannot say our election process is a good quality election. Okay, so but we hope this kind of challenges is not only exist in our country, but also in many of the democratic country. They also suffering from this kind of challenges. Okay, because they are also free and fair election are not totally achieved. Okay, but this is a matter of the concern. Those who are believing in the democracy, they always it is afraid that whether our country in future can be achieved this fully free and fair election process or not. And this is the reason why many of the people, they wanted to that changing the electoral system which we are right now is going on. So they tried to wanted to change the election system. They wanted to change that the process by which the election is conducted in our country. So let's hope that in our future we can achieve this last challenge. And if once we achieve this last challenge, that is free and fair elections in our country, then we can also proudly say that our election of our India is totally is a good quality election. Because the previous first two that first two method we already achieved, but the last one is left. And if we the last one is that achieved by the Indian people or Indian government, then we can also say that Indian democratic election process is a good quality election process in throughout the world. Okay, so I hope you get and understand with this chapter, and we finish this chapter by this video. This is the last part which I explain over here. I hope you all get a concept regarding the different methods by which you can that understand whether our election process is a good quality election process, or it is not a good that it is not a good process elections in our democratic country. Till that, go through with your NCERT books and all the notes which I provided, or all the videos which I provided. And if you have any queries regarding this, later on we will explain the in our doubt clearing classes. Till that, thank you so much for watching this video.